Tell me about your involvement with Yegii.
The first time you told me about this, I thought it was a good idea. There's definitely a lot of friction when we try to find relevant experts and relevant information for our professional challenges. Just looking in Google is like finding a little fish in the whole ocean. So I think this really has the potential to transform the way we look for information. Not just information, but actual real insight on the most pressing challenges that we have in our industry.
So what are the biggest challenges for a large corporate actor trying to search for information?
I think in our case, I work for a bank. Santander is a large financial institution. I think this industry is really ripe for disruption. The way people interact with money is just changing with all the technology changes that we are seeing, and a lot of the startups trying to challenge their status quo and so on. So it's really, really difficult to keep up with the pace, right, with all these disruptions that we are seeing. So we really need a way to find the relevant stuff and to be current and not to spend really large amounts of time and money finding those.
So why should a client sign up with Yegii? What is the real benefit of Yegii?
The ability to find relevant information in very little time. You can find the best relevant expert having a very large network of relevant people without having to interview all of them. And so I think it's very efficient and very relevant. So then you told me about the platform and about the possibility of really tapping a much wider network of experts.
But a lot of corporate actors are a little skeptical about new brands, and there's a risk of associating themselves with a startup. What is the incentive of going with Yegii instead of going with McKinsey or is it just an addition to going with more established brands for gathering research or strategy? Going
to Yegii instead of going to a large consultancy is like going for crowdfunding rather than going to a bank. Right? There's a lot of friction when you try to go to a bank. The process is very long, and you're essentially going to get just one price and one possibility. And if you try to do it with 2 or 3 banks, it's actually it's a lot of time and it's a lot of friction in doing it. While when you do it through a crowdsourcing platform, in the financing platform, then you can leverage a lot more sources of finance or sources of whatever you're looking for. So I think that's the benefit. It's just the ability to tap into a much wider array of possibilities, just to find exactly what you're looking for and not just drinking from just one source.
Can you just tell me in a few sentences what you do for Santander?
I essentially build new businesses. I'm looking at new business models that are arising based after all the changes that we are seeing in technology and social behavior. So I try to build new businesses that are not really core banking. They are really adjacent to the banking business that we have. And at the same time, what I try to do is leverage the critical mass that as a big bank we can bring to these startups or new businesses. In order to do that, I need to keep current with all new businesses, new business models that are appearing out there in the market. And since it's a business building and it's completely new territory, what we are looking for, it's actually very difficult to keep up the pace with all the noise.
Thank you. So this was Faura with Santander. Thanks very much.